Hey everyone, this is going to be a quick 5-minute video on how I passed CompTIA's A Plus Core 1 and 2 in 1 month through WGU. So I plan for Core 1 to take 2 weeks and Core 2 also took 2 weeks. My background is that I'm 18, so it's not like I have like a lot of experience in IT. I don't have any professional IT experience, but I have been, using computers for my whole life. So that really helped, I guess, familiarize myself with Windows and all of just the little tidbits that come to create an IT experience. So some tips and tricks I have for Core 1. Printers, let me highlight that. Printers is huge. Like printer troubleshooting, know all the parts of a printer, know what the steps of producing an image on the paper is, know how to troubleshoot printer issues, like each one, like ghosting, streaks on the paper, black lines, all that stuff they ask you about. And you just really have to nail printers because printer troubleshooting is like a big part of the exam, and troubleshooting is its own unit. It's core. It's the fourth unit, I think. Next thing I think to focus on is port numbers. There are like a lot of port numbers, and it's just good to build a flashcard set or play one of those matching games that you can find on Google. If you Google Network Plus matching game, then you can find that game that will have basically the same port numbers and ports with the application descriptions for A plus. And troubleshooting, it's more of implementing the knowledge as opposed to memorizing it. So that's where, like, as a WGU student, they give you access to CertMaster Learn, Practice, and they give you access to labs. So I would recommend just doing maybe 1 or 2 labs or watching Professor Messer to see how to tackle the troubleshooting unit. For Core 2, control panel applets are really important. Like, it can get confusing between Windows 10 and Windows 11. But you still need to know, network and sharing center versus network and internet. Like, where do you go in setting Windows settings versus Windows control panel? That's really big to fix issues, or like proxy servers, for example. How do you configure those? What submenu would you go to configure those? Port numbers, again, they're important on both Core 1 and 2. So don't just like temporarily memorize them. Make sure that you're comfortable with them for a while. Command and PowerShell commands you have to be familiar with. They do come up on PBQs. Obviously, I can't tell you the exact question, but make sure that you are familiar with them. Again, this is where the labs come handy because you can just practice using those commands and see what they actually do in a real or a lab environment. And vocab for operations. I didn't really take the operations unit seriously. I probably should have. Maybe I would have gotten a higher score, but it can get tricky when they put like two synonyms, two terms that are synonyms of each other, and then you have to deduce which is the best match according to the question. So make sure you know the vocab for the operations unit. So the resources I used, so as a WGU student, we get access to CertMaster Learn and CertMaster Practice. So I would recommend doing both. Keep in mind though, CertMaster Practice, that is a different team that writes the questions for CertMaster Practice. So they're not going to actually look exactly like that on the exam. The exam looks more like what you see in CertMaster Learn, those questions, but CertMaster Practice, the reason why I recommend it is because it actually helps you kind of drill down and familiarize yourself with the concepts. Even if the questions aren't as accurate to the test as you'd like them to be, they still help you kind of gain understanding and knowledge of how to apply the concepts because they have a lot of good troubleshooting concepts or questions. Jason Dion, everybody recommends him, and I do too, because when I was confused, I would just go to his Udemy course. Udemy Business is included with WGU students, for WGU students. So I would just either go to him or Professor Messer. So those two were really helpful, especially Jason Dion. He came with he has a total of 6 practice exams for each core, which is really helpful. So I did 4 exams for core 2, and I did 1 of his practice exams for core 1. I did a Mike Myers exam for both core 1 and core 2. That's helpful, and since we're in WGU, it's free. And Quizlet. Quizlet was probably the main reason I passed this test. I've never used Quizlet's flashcards feature until now. What I would do is I would go to CertMaster Learn. I would do the unit reviews, and the questions that I got wrong, I would put them on a flashcard. And on the other, you would put the question and the choices on one side of the flashcard, and on the other side of the flashcard, you would put the answer, but you would also put the explanation as to why the answer was right. Otherwise, you're just going to memorize the answer to the question, and that doesn't help you understand the concept. So Quizlet's match really helped me study when I just wasn't feeling like I wanted to study. It helped me feel motivated, and it was fun trying, especially with port numbers. Quizlet match and port numbers can be really fun, trying to get the lowest amount of time possible. Yeah, that would be pretty much it. If you guys have any questions, just put it in the comments, and thanks for watching.